We are live to the Ashes Rubies live stream and podcast where we talk about life and recovery and a bit more. You're Vicky, I'm John, and here we are at the headquarters, the home of...
Headquarters. Do you know what we didn't actually talk about at all on this recording?
Ever?
We didn't acknowledge your sobriety date. You just celebrated a new milestone.
16 years of
16
continuous
years
sobriety.
of continuous sobriety.
Thank you.
We were away. We like to celebrate after the long weekend because we know that
I just
the last time
celebrate
you drank
God's grace and mercy over my life because my sobriety date has nothing to do with me.
has nothing to do with you. The last time you drank was on August long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And baffling to me and everyone around you, you never drank again.
I never drank again.
Was that baffling to you? Like at the beginning?
I would say it still is.
You're just like, huh?
Because
that consumed
I have
me.
come to the realization in my process of recovery is that I do drink. It's not that I can't drink. I'm not going to not drink. Like I drink. And it's like if I couldn't, then I wouldn't. But there's no other option for me but to drink. And now I don't. It's crazy. So sometimes I think like that. It's
what you're saying is like, it's not like you were choosing it. Like you didn't choose it. It's not, you couldn't not.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you didn't.
Yeah. Because of the relationship I found with God. Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Thank you. But it has nothing to do with me. So I
don't think that celebrating is making it about you. I think celebrating is actually just celebrating a miracle that happened and
telling other people that it's possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like we don't understand how it happened or why it happened then and not like, any of the cajillion times before that you didn't mean to or didn't want to and tried not to and my begged God for mercy.
I want to impart this wisdom, which can ruffle feathers. But if you're somebody that's counting days of sobriety, it's a horrible place to be. Horrible place to be because you're counting every day that you remain sober. And so the gift that God will give you in a relationship with him, he will set your sober date. It has nothing to do with you. So stop counting days and hours and
It's me that does that.
No, I don't like the year milestones is fine,
milestone.
But there's lots of people out there that have the counter, and they're looking at I am 242 days and 3 hours sober.
I think that it's again, if it's to celebrate, and to be grateful, I have value for that. But if it's like, okay, I'm gonna make it to another year,
I look at my counter, I got another day in.
That just feels so like
that's a hard place to be.
That's a hard place to be. And then I think that there's just a miracle that can happen that just
and to ruffle more feathers, recovery has nothing to do with sobriety. Okay now.
Okay.
Good morning, Daniel. Let's start off this Wednesday morning heavy.
I actually
join us though at noon. Our boy Johnny B is sharing today at noon. I don't know what the topic is, but
Eastern, and the info will go up on this page shortly.
It's not already up.
No,
it's not already up.
It's not already up.
But join us at noon for Zoom.
All right,
recovery meeting. So, I wanted to say, speaking of milestones, our son Jordan is celebrating 26 years of life today. 26 years. It's his birthday. Happy birthday. That's more important.
He doesn't watch this. I can promise you
he doesn't watch this. Maybe he does. And he doesn't ever tell us.
Nah.
But maybe he may watch it today. Maybe somebody Facebook him and say, hey, look at this video. You're in it.
I doubt it.
No, he was never one to. We weren't even allowed to take pictures and post them. We're very private. We're a very private family. August 10th. Here we go.
August 10th. Our wee baby was born.
Our wee baby. I was in jail.
Okay, we didn't need to go there. In the book of Ecclesiastes, we read, "The stroke of the tongue breaketh the bones. Weigh thy words in a balance, and make a door and a bar for your mouth. Envy and wrath shorten the life.
What are you reading?
From the book of Ecclesiasticus.
Oh, okay. Ecclesiastic?
That's what it's.
Yeah, I know.
They actually wrote Ecclesiasticus.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Well, they read out of the King James
They
version,
do.
which is not the version
The
that
stroke
I would choose to read
of the tongue breaks the bones. Weigh your words in a balance and make a door and a bar for your mouth. Envy and wrath shorten the life.
We're going to talk about something with the words.
Words. This statement speaks directly for the Al-Anon program. Talking to the wives of the alcoholics.
Oh,
Shut
good.
your mouth.
Oh, good. I don't have that. I don't have
Has
that.
nothing to do with you.
I can zone out.
This
now.
concept will not apply to you at all. No, never. No. We are constantly being reminded that we are working to improve ourselves, to protect ourselves from the influences of confusion, anger, and resentment. In these words from the Bible, we have a direct recommendation to check our part in the difficulties we have with others. And the reason it gives our own benefit is equally valid in Al-Anon teachings, AA teachings, literally any human being's life. Today's reminder: let me reflect how much damage I may have done and may still do by saying the first thing that comes to my mind.
Boom.
Let me realize that the worst reaction of unbridled anger falls upon me. What I say in a single moment of uncontrolled rage can have inconceivable long-range consequences.
Long-range consequences. That's good. What were the... Oh, you're not done.
There's the quote of the day. Be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the truth of man works not the righteousness of God.
So the word was, when in our relationship, when you...
Like our relationship?
Our relationship.
Oh, no.
In our
Can
relationship...
we just talk about another fictional couple?
When you're... Okay. In our relationship, when you feel condemned, attacked, confused, angered, or resentment, or fearful, are you good at not saying anything?
I am sweet as honey, and I just wait and pause.
Honey in the beehive.
Wait for...
No, I think you're sweet as honey in the honeycomb in the beehive.
No, that's old Vicky.
And old Vicky never surfaces.
No,
okay.
Step one.
And
Back
we,
at step
we can
one.
just leave it at that. I think that's
the
it.
The reality is I am very aware now. Like I even last night I was in a meeting and we're discussing something from the past. I'm in a planning meeting and something comes up and I'm asking questions and then I realize I got emotions about this. Like there's emotions here. What's happening? But then I had to think about it and I was like, I'm not actually upset about this. Like I feel passionate about this, and so I have to on the way home, I was actually intentional to pray about it and ask God, do I actually have a resentment here? Is there something that do I have unforgiveness? Do I, is there something unmet? And then, really asking God, do I have anger, bitterness, confusion or resentment here about this? And I really felt like the answer was no. And so what I realized is I have a tendency to the words come out, and the way that I can talk sometimes I'm like, ooh, it's a little externally emotional when it doesn't need to be, and I know that I can, what does it say here? I can bridle my tongue. I can actually, it doesn't need to be that way. And so in the moment I was very aware of it and I felt like I caught it and settled it.
But maybe here's a consideration. Maybe it's something that we can't actually do on our own power. We need the power of God's love, His Spirit, because we road rage. I don't think people are trying to get in road rage incidences, but I'm being powered by my own spirit and not the Spirit of God. So this all comes into the understanding of I have a relationship with God that will help me bridle my tongue.
And
because I feel injustice. And how dare you talk to me like that? And oh my goodness, if only she did this, this, and this, my life would be much better and we'd be so much more on point with doing God's will. And I think my worst thing that I do is I do it in a healthy way. Like I go, here's me not saying anything, but this is what I'm saying. I just need a break from your idiotic comments and your everything. So I'm just going to take a deep breath right in front of you. Oh, that's so much better. I've retained my tongue in my mouth, but I haven't. Like it's just as bad, if not worse, because I'm spiritualizing it. I'm just saying I'm going to operate in the Spirit of God right now. So much better. Yeah, you're not annoying me so much anymore. But what's really happening is a part of me is threatened and harmed. And there's an injustice. And I just want to speak to you about it. But instead, I'm just going to bite my tongue and breathe in really deeply, take my own little meditation break. No, that's just as bad as yelling at somebody. So where do I leave God out of my parts of myself, my emotions, my ego? Isn't that what we're supposed to die of? So those are good measurements of when I'm speaking out of my own spirit of contempt, of there's injustice happening, I'm self-protecting, I'm defending all of these things, and it creates disturbances in my relationship. That's out of my ego. So can we die of self? And we need God's power to do that, to hold the rudder in our mouth, to hold the sighing, to hold the passive aggressiveness, all of those things. But how about today we just come into the awareness that we do these things and turn them over to God. So thank you so much. See you at noon today. Keep the peace. Be of good behavior. And we'll talk to you later.
Thanks for joining.